Good morning and welcome to the Crawford County Commissioners Work Session for December 4th, 2024. We'll start with the Crawford County Federated Library System. Good morning, Jessica.
Hey,
Good
Jess,
morning.
how are you?
Hi. So I'm bringing to you today three reappointments, two reappointments and one new appointment. So for our board terms, they will be from January 1st to 25 until the end of the year in 2027. We are proposing Linda Roche and Susan Armberger for Cochranton Area Public Library, Bill Gregg and Deb Barton for Shantz Memorial Library, and Dot Luckock and Linda Brayton from Stone Memorial Library.
Okay. Any questions for Jessica? Thank you for traveling over.
Thanks so much.
IT? Hi, Tim.
Right, Tim.
IT is here to request the purchase of Park Place Technologies' annual support of our IT hardware for $8,874.12. This is a budgeted item for 2025. We usually pay it in January.
Any questions for Tim?
No.
Thank you, Tim. The registered recorder.
Hi, Beth.
Morning,
Hi,
Beth.
Beth.
I'm here requesting approval for the purchase of a Century Safe fireproof floor safe in the amount of $653.90 to replace the current office safe. And this person will be paid with the Recorder Deeds Records Improvement Funds.
Okay. Any questions for Beth?
Nope.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
The courts. Morning, Heidi.
Hi, Heidi.
Hi, Heidi.
This morning, I'm seeking approval of payment of $600 for 2025 PCRA dues, Pennsylvania Court Reporters Association, for 3 court reporters.
Okay.
Okay.
Also seeking ratification of a copier maintenance and supply agreement from Hagen Business Machines for the Meadville MDJ office.
Okay. Any questions for Heidi?
Nope.
Thank you, Heidi.
Thanks.
Public safety.
Hi,
Morning, Greg.
I don't think you've ever heard of these before, but we're asking for approval to pay $79.88.42 to MCM for their hazard mitigation work.
Okay.
Is that, are we getting to the end of the hazard mitigation stuff?
Yes, praise the Lord.
I feel like there's a canned statement after you make that each time. Like I'm gonna have one of these two say the
3
same.
months in a row he's
Yeah,
that.
The
yeah,
end
yeah.
is near.
He has a hard time remembering.
Yes.
Also asking to approve the purchase and installation of a backup emergency generator at our backup site. That costs $11,877 through Mark Johnson Electric, and we'll use our legacy funds to pay
Will
for
it be
that.
located on like a cement pad outside or something?
Yeah, it's gonna probably be right next to the HVAC condenser system,
okay.
so then we'll be able to fence that portion of the building in.
All right, thank you. Okay.
I'm going to approve a proposal for snow plowing and salting at the Public Safety Building by All Pro Exterior Services. At a cost of $90 per visit for plowing and $75 for salting.
Okay.
Good deal.
And lastly, approve the proposal for lawn and landscape care from Johnston Lawn Care at a cost of $125 per cut, $450 for springtime cleanup, and $350 for fall cleanup.
Do you know how many bids you got from either one of those two? Just off the top of your head.
A cumulative about 8 bids total.
Okay.
So-
All right. Thank you, Greg.
Good.
All right. Any questions for Greg?
No,
All
thanks.
right. Maintenance. Morning, Jen.
Hi, Jen.
Hey.
Good morning, Commissioners. This morning I'm asking approval to pay CPS Construction Group for pay application number 2, and this is for the parking deck rehab project in the amount of $187,746.34.
Okay.
And second, approval to pay Micus Corporation. This is for estimate number 3, the final payment on the deck rehab for Mercer Street Bridge 16 in the amount of $153,406.46.
Although Jen hopes there's no questions. Any questions for Jen?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Planning.
Morning,
Hi,
Commissioners.
Zach.
Morning, Zach.
Hello, Zach.
First item, we're asking to ratify the payment to Starlink for an invoice totaling $17,180. This is for 20 additional Starlink consumer kits, the shipping, handling, and the 6 months of service per kit. This was paid for out of the county's ARPA funds.
Okay, I'd just like to say, like as we're working through broadband, this is just another Band-Aid, I guess, for some people who are still on the list, but we're still working with the Northwest Commission. We still have a plan to apply for BEAD money, and it's still there, so we're still in the making. I will also say thank you to our state representatives and our state senator for putting a little pressure on making some adjustments to the requirement for the BEAD money, and Deb's expertise too as well. Much appreciated. So we're still in, I guess.
We're in, and
Okay.
it was nice to see the legislature here.
I appreciate them all. That we got a response, and it was a little bit rough, but that's okay. It was meant to be that way. So, thank you.
Next, we're asking for approval for a payment to Ferguson Construction Company. This is to reimburse in the amount of $720 for training wages associated with the Workforce and Retention Program. This is paid for out of the whole home repair program.
Okay,
Okay,
We're also asking for approval to reimburse Wayne Township in the amount of $13,361.11. This is for the Frenchtown Road Culvert Replacement Project. It's paid for out of the county's Act 13 at-risk bridge funds.
I also want to say while you're here, the East Mead supervisors were very thankful for your assistance, by the way. Supervisor Simonet saw him just the other day, so you're very helpful, so I
Yep,
appreciate that.
good, good. We're glad that both that project and this project, we funded this year. They were able to do everything, and now we've got 2 bridges back up and open.
Good.
So, we're also asking for approval of a contract between Crawford County QRS and homeowner number 6 for the home repairs through the county's whole home repair program. And then we're asking for approval of a parcel redevelopment agreement between Crawford County Active Aging and the Borough of Cambridge Springs. This is to demolish the existing building at 110 Cannonfield Street, the old nursing home. This would replace the 4-party agreement that we previously were developing.
Okay, any questions for Zach?
nope, thank you.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
Human Services. Morning.
All right, Sue.
I'm requesting approval of the amendment to the Northwest Behavioral Health Partnership Administrative Services Agreement for 1/1/21 to 12/31/24. This will allow us to transfer $40,000 from Crawford County Human Services to Crawford County Drug and Alcohol Executive Commission. These administrative funds are allowable for movement between the 2 agencies with the approval of both directors.
Okay,
Requesting approval of the Northwest Behavioral Health Partnership Administrative Services Agreement for 1/1/25 to 12/31/27. Requesting approval to appoint Deborah Johnson to the Crawford County Human Services Advisory Board. Ms. Johnson is currently employed by the Children's Faith Initiative, where she serves as pastoral care provider chaplain and postnatal birth doula and lactation coach. Ms. Johnson possesses a bachelor's degree in marriage and family therapy and a master's of Divinity from Anderson School of Theology and Christian Ministry. She has certifications as a birth doula and lactation coach, a family engagement professional, and is a family development credentialed trainer.
okay,
Requesting ratification of the purchase requisition, this one needs to be ratified and it's not ratified on the list.
okay,
Requesting ratification of the purchase requisition to Creative Imprint Systems for decals and a trifold brochure for the Special Needs Registry being instituted by Crawford County 911. The Special Needs Registry would be available to 911 dispatchers so they can tell first responders about an individual with special needs and any special assistance they may need during an emergency. A special need can be any physical, mental, or behavioral condition or disability that might prevent someone from leaving their home quickly during an emergency. Special needs classification would be available for children and youth, individuals with disabilities, persons with chronic medical conditions, individuals with mental health conditions, elderly persons, and non-English speaking. The total cost is $7,445. There is no cost to the county, paid for with the increase we received in our Community Mental Health Services block grant funds, which do not require a county match.
and I did talk to Greg about this, and our CAD system is going to be able to, that information, people, just so they're aware, it actually gets sent through our iPad that we actually funded last time, so that information we put across our iPad system, and then the first responders will be able to see that.
Right.
Scott, as the fire chief, knows, he'll be able to pull up and see a designee and know that there's somebody who needs additional help to get removed from the structure.
Right.
Even in the Erie incident with the snow this last week, it'd have been advantageous to have, have identifiers and know that these residences have special needs individuals. So this is a good project.
It's a good step forward.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Requesting approval of the purchase requisition to the National Children's Alliance for the NCA track subscription for our forensic interviewer. This is a tracking system used by the Children's Interview Center at CYS. The total cost of the subscription is $2,163. There is no cost to the county. It's paid for with grant funds.
Okay,
And requesting approval of the fiscal year 23-24 grant contract with Meadville Medical Center for the Medical Assistance Transportation Program, driver retention and hiring bonus. The total is $61,348. There's no cost to the county. These are funds received directly from the Department of Human Services as a supplemental bonus payment. The amount was determined based upon the total trips for fiscal year 22-23, and Meadville Medical Center will be responsible for distributing it to the drivers as they see fit.
okay. Any other questions for Sue?
Nope,
Thank you.
All right, thank
thank
you.
you.
Finance,
Good morning.
morning.
Howdy.
For your approval, I have the following invoice to Community Health Services. It's invoice number 178. It's the October 24-25 trips in the amount of $58,417.
Okay,
For your ratification, I have the following invoice. It's the P-CHIP Health Insurance invoice in the amount of $667,496.59.
Stephanie, I have a question for the next insurance. Does that amount you list when you do the payment, does that include the self-insured part too and payment of claims or no? So we'll see
It's
a
everything.
difference in ICRA a little bit?
Correct. There will be a difference in ICRA, and this is this is for December of '24.
Okay.
So this should be our last.
So the next
The-
one,
The only things we'll see coming, we'll have runoffs. So there
Okay.
will be some usage that we will have to pay for. There'll be runoff.
so you might
but
see
other than
two lines for insurance for a little while.
that- Correct.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, Sheriff Powers.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, Dave.
Hello,
Morning, Dave.
David.
I have a lot of items today. We took the Explorer in to get the oil changed and it needed tires. So I'd asked to ratify the purchase of 4 Goodyear Eagle Enforcers at $267 apiece. Total $1,071.96.
Okay,
And then the oil change is on there as well, because we exhausted that budget line item, so.
okay,
The next item would be sign the maintenance contract with Hagen Business Machines for our Toshiba copier.
okay,
The next would be approve the graphics for the new cruiser by Science by Renee. She quoted me between 8 and 1,200, so I just put 1,200
Okay.
on there, so it should be less.
she's
Not
good.
to exceed.
Yeah, we're just
Okay.
working out the details now, it should
Okay.
be less.
Okay,
Approve the cage and console for the new cruiser from Mobilecom. I checked with maintenance, and the console will not work in that car, and obviously the cage won't. They also quoted me a bar light that was a lot more. I think I can get one for less than 1,500, but I'm
Okay.
still waiting for some.
are our maintenance guys installing these things for you, Dave?
Yeah, I
Great.
checked, I got a separate price from Mobilecom to install all that stuff. It was $7,500.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Matt will do a great
Yeah.
job, so.
They're saving us a lot of money.
That's a good price for on that Whalen light bar.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be more like 13, but they haven't gotten back to
Okay.
me yet, so,
Any questions for Dave?
Nope.
All right, thanks, Dave.
thank you.
Gina's gonna handle the treasurers?
Yeah. So for treasurers, they're requesting approval of the payment for the 2024 ARC for the retirement account. This year, the payment is $2,191,942, and it is a budgeted item.
Okay, any questions? GIS?
Okay, and for GIS, we're requesting ratification of the invoice from Pacific Vanguard for October services in the amount of $1,786.
Okay,
And for commissioners, requesting approval of the courthouse closure at half a day on December 24th in observance of Christmas Eve,
okay,
and requesting approval of the invoice for the annual membership to NACO in the amount of $1,679.
okay. Chris, do you wanna handle C?
Sure. So we'll be ratifying a resolution passed presumably by the board, and this is in support of a local share account grant application on behalf of Active Aging for up to $1 million from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to be used for the construction of a senior center in Cambridge Springs Borough. And this would be directly related to the agreement that Zach referred to in his section.
Okay, do you wanna handle D too?
I think it would be.
Oh, I'm sorry, thank you.
Yeah.
So this is an ordinance to amend the Affordable Housing Fund program, the Affordable Housing Fund fees that are charged by the recorder of deeds, for recording deeds and mortgages. So the county is, as part of its 2024 comprehensive plan, is enacting a light demolition fund fee, which is going to be added to the recording of deeds and mortgages. The county is trying to do it in such a way so that the total overall recording fees will not change. So this ordinance is actually to reduce the affordable housing fund fee from $11.50 per deed or mortgage down to $5.
Okay.
With the difference being picked up by the demolition fund fee.
Okay,
It's on the schedule of the ratification. I'm not positive if it needs to be that. I wasn't.
I don't think it needs to be.
expecting that. I dated the ordinance for next year.
Yeah.
That's-
I think that the goal was to have it come into effect beginning of the year to coincide, but yeah.
So I don't see why it needs to be ratification.
Yeah.
I just,
All right.
mistake.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
and I think it does mention clarification that the overall fee will increase ever so slightly. It'll be by $3.50. Right now, the affordable housing is at $11.50. The county has opted to do a $10 blight demolition fee in addition to
Okay, so there's a slight
So there will be a slight increase, but the goal was to be able to keep a standard deed or mortgage recorded under $100 if we could. And so,
Thanks for being aware of that. I was expecting Zach to be here to correct me.
no, that's okay. I'll happily fill those shoes. But yeah, so it will go up just a little bit. I don't want to sell a bill of goods, but we try to keep the increase as modest as we could. Thanks, Keith.
Much lower than the first ask, really.
Yeah, it was.
All right, and the notifications?
Okay, we have an NPDES permit reissuance notification from Farron Record for a single resident sewage treatment plant to allow discharge of treated sewage to surface waters in Fairfield Township. We have submission of sewage facilities planning module component 4B from Dyson Helmy Engineering for small flow treatment facility in Spring Township. Chapter 102 permit notification from Allegheny College for exterior improvements related to the renovation of Reese Hall in the city of Meadville. Chapter 102 permit notification from Porter Consulting on behalf of Cardinal Mills, Starbucks Development for activities associated with construction of new building at Vernon Place in Vernon Township, and one that arrived just this morning that we'll go ahead and throw on for informational purposes. It is from WL Plastics, Inc. It's a reissuance of an NPDES permit application.
Okay, the upcoming events we have on December 11th will be the full session, the 18th, and then the 24th. Of course, we closed on Christmas and the day after. We do have public comment today. Mrs. Staub, Valerie Staub, will you come up and?
Yeah, I just was stopping in to let you guys know that I'm doing some investigating on.
Would you mind coming here only because we have a microphone? And I appreciate it, so. Well, we do, Valerie, it's may come as a shock to you, I agree, you're very loud, but I appreciate that the channel is
Okay.
the YouTube channel, so we appreciate that.
Okay,
Thank you.
anyways, I regret coming now already, but anyways, I thought I would let you guys know. I'm doing some investigating about some ATV trails, in Crawford. I talked to Zach, is that your planning guy? It's very informative, by the way. It seems like really has a good grasp on things going on. So that was a nice conversation. And we're just investigating whether this is something that would be good in Crawford County. I don't have an ATV, but my children do. And I see them going to these events where thousands of people show up every weekend. And I'm like, why don't we have that in Crawford County? I don't want to be negative, but we're getting older, and there's not a lot of things coming in our county. So I just wanted to let you know, we're doing some investigation of whether that would be a good idea, whether it won't be a good idea, something that can bring people back to our county. 'Cause
Is
I don't
that
want-
throughout the whole county or just a
Well,
certain
we're,
area?
so this is my understanding, and I don't wanna talk out of turn, cause maybe I'm wrong, but is they have these trails connecting states. That, like Maine, that, all across Maine, you go on these trails, you go to different, like in the center of Pennsylvania, they, I think he was telling me, like Jim Thorpe's, like there's supposed to be some trails starting there. And yeah, these people, ATVs, from what I understand, and I just noticed when I pay bills that they're like $20,000 and $40,000. So this is a high-priced adventure that these people go on. So why not try to get some of them to come to Crawford County and ride through Crawford County? So like I said, I don't know if it'll materialize, but I didn't want to be nosing around and walking around and not let you guys in on what I was doing in Crawford County Courthouse.
Well, thank you.
And it's amazing, I haven't been here for a while.
Yeah.
I'm lost. I've been here since I was a child and ran these hallways, and now all these offices are changed.
Yeah.
So I'm like learning where things are.
Well, I appreciate you looking into that because there is a big issue with ATVs, side-by-sides, whatever you want to call them.
Well, there's at least 4 townships that have adopted ordinances that allow you to ride on their roads now. There's some really
Some boroughs that are.
Oh, there's some boroughs that are having trouble right now.
That's a little.
Well, like if you look in Philadelphia, like when I go to Philadelphia, I'm always telling these guys, stop making laws about them, because in Philadelphia, there's a big issue of hooligans running through their town. And I said, we're not Philadelphia, stop making rules that affect Crawford County.
If
So-
you go to Marionville once a year, throws that big weekend of ATVs, and just stop and talk to the business owners in Marionville. It's a small area, granted, a few stores, but stop and talk to them, and they'll tell you that's the biggest weekend they have selling stuff at all.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a Coney Lake girl, and, I owned Keen's Garage, or my family did. And that was, we were always packed because of Coney Lake Park. And that's not there anymore. And so
Yeah.
what's replacing it? Drive around your county at 8 o'clock at night. There's nobody in any businesses. There just isn't. Why? What happens at 8 o'clock? But something.
I mean, I'm in bed.
Time for me
There's
to
a
go to
lot
bed.
of people
Scott's going to
coming
bed.
to our county, but what the hell are they doing? Does anybody know? It's like they're showing up, but I don't see them anywhere.
Yeah.
They're not in churches, they're not in clubs, they're not.
That's a good point.
But where are they?
Yep.
So anyways, I just wanted to be able to tell you.
So I think as the only member of the board that doesn't own an ATV, I guess it would be up to these two to attend the ribbon cutting and the inaugural ride.
Oh,
when
okay,
the
so you
time
guys
comes.
own them? See, I don't own one either. Side by sides, right? Like, that's the thing,
that's
side
it.
by side.
So
Yes, I just figured it out, Chris. It would take us 29 hours to go to Augusta, Maine at 25 miles an hour.
All right.
We have the slow ones. We're
We
old,
bought
so
the slow ones.
Yeah, we don't have
Okay,
fast ones.
all right. So you guys aren't rock climbing?
No,
and-
no rock climbing.
No.
Okay.
There's heat and air in them, though.
But
I mean,
we,
it's-
but we bought ones with heaters and air conditioning in
Yeah,
them.
well, that's
so-
a ticket, yeah.
Well,
but-
I'm glad you were able to make contact with Zach. Outdoor recreation is a huge component of our comprehensive
complement.
plan.
Well, and again,
And-
it's my understanding, and I don't want to be talking out of turn, but it's my understanding there's a ton of grants out there for these types of trails. And I want Crawford to get some of that money
Absolutely.
and bring people back to Crawford.
But that needs to be done properly. I mean, Cochranton used to have the big ATV run once a year. It got to
I
the
feel like
point
I'm
where we
really
had,
loud with this
we had
stupid
10,000 to
microphone, Karen.
15,000 ATVs showing up. They used to camp out in the farmers' fields
Yeah.
but that got put to a stop because they became idiots. And the DEP put a stop to that because they wouldn't follow the trail. They thought they cut across here and there,
Like the
everywhere.
no fun
Yeah.
police really has harmed a lot of areas.
Yeah.
And you gotta be able to have fun, or it's not gonna come back. And I mean safe fun, you don't expect people to act like jerks, but, at least you'd be able to laugh and have some fun. So, like I said, we're just looking at it, and I just wanted you to know.
Well, if you have any updates, please come back and tell us.
Please tell us.
Yeah, let's
I
Thank
will,
you.
I will.
Thank you.
Like I said, and I may, like Zach, I mean, he is full of abundance of information.
Yeah, I
He's
think
full
there-
of it, all right.
He's full of it, yeah. I think there's a good way to work in conjunction with the efforts that are already underway for trail
Well,
and
yeah,
outdoor
because
recreation
there is so
development.
many, like, there's a
There's so
lot of
many.
walking trails. I don't know, you guys doing that?
What?
Walking
Walking the
trails?
trails?
So Zach and I had a
Yeah,
conversation
me and
about
Gusher, we
that.
walk the trails
And
all
I
the
said, I
time.
think they're nice, but I don't know,
Yep.
but what if we had an ATV trail, and so.
All right.
Or a
thank you.
horseback riding trail. I mean, there's lots of things.
Yep.
So, but anyways.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I'll
you for
never
com-
come back because I don't want to stop.
Commissioner comments? Commissioner Seeley,
Let the record reflect that Mrs. Staub says she will never come back.
write that down.
Nothing to offer today, just a huge thanks to the many public works workers we have all across Crawford County that have been hard at work for the last couple of days to clear away the snow, and a huge tip of the hat to those municipalities and workers in Crawford County that have lent their skills and equipment to the county of Erie as they're undergoing a really terrible situation with their snowfall, and it's nice to see that there's a camaraderie between the two counties, and that we are at least able to pitch in a little bit of help to help them get out of that morass of snow they have going up there. But just encourage folks to continue to be safe as you try to travel the roadways. It's looking like a little bit more snow coming this week, so be mindful and conscientious of the other drivers around you, and allow yourself some extra time to get to your destination.
Commissioner Shell.
Well, since Commissioner Saley stole most of my thunder.
You gotta start letting him go
No,
first.
no, that's fine. But a big hats off to Crawford County Department of Public Safety, who was able to dispatch and receive and dispatch calls for Erie County during their emergency. It's amazing what they can do. We actually had people here in Meadville taking emergency calls from Erie County, transferring via computer those calls back to Erie, and Erie County dispatching those calls to whatever agency needed to go. It's an amazing system. Also, our EMA people, Alan and Donnie, went to Erie themselves, worked the Emergency Operations Center themselves, and so it was a group effort with everybody. And we weren't the only county that did that. But that was just huge, absolutely huge. Kim and I have 3 children that live in Erie, and our grandchildren live in Erie, and they were getting close to 4 foot of snow at their houses and couldn't get out, and I was forced to be on the phone playing games with my grandkids because they were too bored to do anything else, and that's how I spent part of my day. So, but thank you to everybody that did that. More bad weather coming. Please be careful out there.
Thank you. We're still working with the budget, so you know, and it's on display still. I received many links to other counties receiving bad news about 33% increases and 25% increases. That is not our intention this year, but we do understand they have a tough road to hoe in some of those counties. I've got those links sent to me, so apparently they think we're the same boat, but we're not. That's not our intention this year. So we're still working on the budget, and we will get it balanced before it's over. So that being said, we will see you next week. Thank you.